Relations Department. And we're so excited to celebrate, especially today, with it being National Library Workers Day. As our poster with the theme, the national theme for Library Week, you belong at your library, you belong at JPL. The words over the doors say open to all, and we are so excited to have all of you here and to every day live up to that mission of providing everyone with what they're looking for at their library. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you our Deputy Director, Carolyn Williams, who's going to get things officially started. Carolyn.
Thank you, and I believe it's officially afternoon, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are so glad that you are decided to join us today. I know it's a conflict because it's just so pretty outside, but we are here to acknowledge National Library Week and especially today, National Library Workers Day. So we're very glad to welcome our council members, John Crescendini and Doyle Carter, and our board member, Christina Stallings, along with our board chair, Jim Seltzer. And JPL is very pleased to serve the community as a center of information, entertainment, and as a destination place. The staff and the Library Board of Trustees work hard every day to ensure that libraries remain relevant and important to all individuals. Having said all of that, it is now my pleasure to present to you our board chair, Jim Seltzer. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. I also want to acknowledge the fact that Max Marvett from the Daily Record is here today, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that the press comes and covers the library. We think that we are the best value to the citizens of Jacksonville of all the services that are out there. But welcome to National Library Week. We're pleased to have John and Doyle here today. Doyle, who serves on as an ex officio member of our board, and John Crescendini, who amongst his other duties is a member of the Friends of the Jacksonville Public Library and an officer, John, of that. So has demonstrated his strong support in the past for the Jacksonville Public Library. This Library Week is an annual celebration that celebrates really the employees, the people who make this institution run. It's not the books, it's not the building, it's the people who make it run. It's the people who bring the smiles and the friendly attitude. Last year, though, not talking about the people, last year this library saved the citizens of Jacksonville $112 million by checking out books instead of buying them. Last year, over 7,500 individuals got job training in coordination with WorkSource. Half of them actually found jobs after having done that. 1.5 seconds, every 1.5 seconds, some citizen of Jacksonville uses our library. And our reference librarians answered over 1 million questions last year. And another factoid, over 3 times as many people come to our public library as attend sporting events, which is absolutely amazing. So our libraries are indeed some of the best investments made. And the way technology is permeating libraries today, you don't have to walk inside the doors anymore to get it. You can check out online, you can get audio books, electronic books. So the statement of start here, go anywhere has never been more relevant than it is today. But we are pleased to have John and Doyle here today to recognize National Library Week. We appreciate their support, and now I'd like to ask Councilman Crescendini to join me up here for a few words about our library and National Library Week. John?
Thank you all. I don't really have a whole lot to say. I'm an avid supporter of the library, and I can tell you that one of the benefits of being on the city council is getting to come into a library and talk out loud with a microphone with nobody going shh. I'm quite familiar with from my youthful days, but I'm very involved in the Friends. In fact, I think the Friends are out delivering some treats for all the library workers today, because without the library workers, we just have a building with some materials in it. The library employees are the real folks that make this whole thing work. I'm always impressed with the library employees. I think they're some of the most dedicated city workers we have. I have an occasion to work with some of them who, in addition to working their job during the week, come and volunteer at the Friends book sale. And although they're a little technical, they're very helpful, and we really appreciate their service, because that's an all-volunteer effort. And of course, all the proceeds, every dollar that we make at those book sales, we plow back into materials or wish list items for the library. But I'm always amazed when I get the job at the book sales of reshelving books that, reshelving books that people didn't want to purchase at the cash register. And I'm like, I have no idea where the religion section is. And I'll ask one of our library workers that are there helping out, and they're like, oh, well, that's 362.974 or whatever, the Dewey Decimal thing. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't know what you're talking about. So they're very conscientious. Unfortunately, there's folks out in the world that don't like the library. I mean, we fight the budget battle every August and September, and although I get lots of email from folks that say, fund the library, keep the libraries open, don't close any libraries, keep them open on Sundays, I get email from people also that say, we don't need libraries anymore. Everybody has the internet. We don't need books, it's all on the internet. We don't need people using computers to look for jobs, it's on the internet. And that's kind of scary. So we need more of what was on the front, on the editorial page of today's newspaper. I don't know if you saw that or not. Great timing, but that's the direction we need to go in. To be an education city, and everybody wants to talk about education, we got to have libraries. Thank you all for having me, and thank you for the job that you do for our city. Mr. Carter. Joel Carter is like myself, he has returned for a second tour of duty on the city council. He's a district councilman representing District 12.
I like John remembers the libraries, and I guess the first time I ever went to the library, I just remembered this as we was talking about it. I was thinking about what's the first library I went to. The Mary Hill Branch Library was the first one I went to. And the way I actually ended up at Mary Hill was there was a Mary Hill Theater right next door. And so my sister was a little older, and her friends that I used to go to the movie with, so Mom would drop us off, and we'd go to the library, to the theater or whatever. So it was Frankenstein versus Werewolf. So when it came on and I was a 7-year-old kid, I was shot out the back door, and all the best I could go was to the library to call Mom and tell her to come get me. So that was my first visit to the library. And it was a good place.
It's a safe place.
And I remember the shoeing part now, and luckily I didn't get thrown out because I was probably talking a lot now. But it's a great thing, and I always tell my friend Mark Wood, that was on the board and stuff, is that 35 years later, you would never consider the two construction guys to be on the library board together. so America and Jacksonville is great, and as Mr. Bressabini says, it's the value that we have, and I've had kids, so to say the library is not important, you haven't had kids because they need the library. And every time I take them to the library, I always learn at the same time. And there was always a smiling face, and there was always a person trying to help you. And we didn't get shoot too much. But there was always somebody helping you to find what you needed. And like John said, they say 363 dot whatever, and that didn't mean anything to us, so they take you where you're supposed to go. And it's a great place, and we need it, and we need it for education, which is our big thing that we really need. And it's great, and it's an honor to be a part of it. It's an honor to be a part of this that John done, and so I guess we're going to do introduce a resolution.
Perfect.
John's going to read on this board.
We also have Councilman Love, who is here
Oh,
today.
thank you.
You want to come up and join us?
Sure, glad to. I think the library's great.
Say something about that real quick.
Sure.
Good answer.
Of course it's something good. And we're very blessed to have one of the finest library systems, I think, in the country. And it adds to the overall general welfare of the city. It allows people to learn. When you learn to read, you have the key to everything. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, if you can read, and this is a great place to read, you can learn and be what you want to be. So it's wonderful to have such a great library system, and congratulations to everyone here.
books I read to were about 6. There will be no questions like that time after this, all right? A resolution recognizing the week of April 8th through the 14th, 2012 as National Library Week and urging all residents to visit and utilize their local library. Whereas for 106 years, the Jacksonville Public Library has provided free access to all, offering access to books, multimedia and online resources, lifelong learning for all ages, inspiration from the imagination of children, programs that teach all forms of literacy, and tools for businesses to support entrepreneurship. And whereas nearly 5 million people visited Jacksonville Public Libraries and checked out almost 9 million items last year. And whereas the Jacksonville Public Library provided more than 10,000 programs and services last year to Duval County residents at its 21 locations. And whereas 165,387 area children and teens attended library programs last year, nearly the entire youth population of Duval County. And whereas librarians are trained professionals helping people of all ages and backgrounds to find and interpret the information they need to live, learn, and work in a challenging economy. And whereas librarians design and offer programs to meet their community's economic needs, providing residents with resume writing classes, interviewing workshops, and job-seeking resources. And whereas research on the economic impact of libraries produced by the University of West Florida finds that the Jacksonville Public Library provides an exceptional return on investment, returning $4.04 to Jacksonville for every single dollar invested. And whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters in Jacksonville across America are celebrating National Library Week in April. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Jacksonville. The City of Jacksonville hereby recognizes the week of April 8th through 14th, 2012 as National Library Week and encourages all residents to visit their public library that week to take advantage of the wonderful library resources available to them. Adopted by the City Council on March 27th, 2012.
Councilman Love, Councilman Crescibeni, Councilman Dole, thank you all so very much for, first of all, for your support, secondly, for your attendance, and thirdly, on behalf of all the libraries, people who use the library, I want to thank our staff for all the marvelous work you do, because Library Week is really about celebrating the great work of the staff at Jacksonville Public Libraries. Thank you. I accept this beautiful resolution on behalf of these fantastic employees. Thank you, gentlemen.